Welcome to our next episode of Schooling with Jane. We are here with the magnificent Jane Guzman, and I am your host, Hannah Mendelson. How are you doing today, Jane?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to be here today, and I cannot tell you how much fun I'm having with you and doing these podcasts. I really hope a lot of people get a lot out of this and that they maybe send us some questions, definitely do some likes for us. We're having fun with it, and that's the most important thing.
And if you're having fun, please comment below on how much fun you're having. Today, our fun includes Jane and her horse, Cara. So she's in the hot seat today. We're going to be reviewing a video of Jane riding Cara.
So this is my little horse, Cara. She is an Irish draft sport horse, which means her father was Irish draft, her mother was thoroughbred. Her name is Cara, which means friend in Irish. She is, as you can see, a chestnut mare, extremely opinionated and extremely concerned about what everybody else is doing around her. So a lot of the time I'm saying, come on, concentrate on me. What are we doing? This is where we're going. She's 10 years old. She's done a little bit of everything. She loves jumping. She has a good attitude to life, barring that she would like to be in charge. She was in a stall where there was a lot of construction going on, and she unfortunately spun around a bit, ended up with a little bit of a tension in her right shoulder. So basically my ride at the moment with her is almost like a rehab. It's physiotherapy. We have probably in the last 2 or 3 weeks just started our canter work. But I wanted on this video to just show you what it's like, show you where she's at. I spend maybe 10 minutes going for a little trail ride to just get her moving forward because she's in a stall. And then I'm maybe half an hour, maybe a little bit less, schooling. And then I go for a trail ride after to loosen her off again in case there's any tension. What is nice to see is she used to travel with her left hind to the inside, and now the left hind is actually going into the same track as the left front leg. Over the months, I've been able to dynamically move her body into a straighter form, and that will then allow her in time to become more collected. But our outline starts from behind, so I'm very concerned about, are you taking a big step through? So what I'm doing here is I'm just walking with her. I'm liking the quality of the walk. It could be maybe a little bit more, but she's nodding her head. There's a little bit of an up and down as opposed to down and up. So when she dropped her head there, I'm saying, good girl. I'm thinking leg to seat to hand. So I'm riding the back end of the horse forward. The amount of contact I have will vary depending on the pace I'm in, also depending on the horse. If you're on a horse that's about to run away with you, you don't need to be on a loose rein. You can actually take a contact and ride the horse forward. What I'd like to do with her is try to get all of the transitions to be as good as she can do in this moment in time. So I like walking away from the camera. You'll see that the left hind is actually following the footprint of the left front leg. And I think that's why the whole videoing is really good, because you can be riding and thinking, oh, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and I'm getting nowhere. But if you take a video every couple of weeks, you can say, that's getting better. So that's why I'm excited with you and Jack that you take all the videos as well. And we can see I actually am getting better, and I'm ready to do my next 1%. So I've walked her around on the one rein, on the left rein. Now I'm walking her around on the right rein. Remember that a horse's brain isn't connected. So when we teach something in one direction, people will always want to say, oh, should I go the other way right away? But it's better, in my opinion, to consolidate that the horse has really got it. And if your length of time for schooling is up, that's fine. start again on what they had learned, check that they've got it, and then move on to the opposite rein. But remember, it's a different lesson. So there, as she walked back onto the left rein, she let go in her neck a little bit more. And I'm saying, good. So now I'm thinking about maybe picking up a little bit of a trot. So what I want to do is take the rein just a tiny little bit shorter, and I want her to not pull her head up and drag herself along, because if she pulls her head up, the back is dropped down. I want her to keep stepping through. So I'm actually asking for trot there, and she hollows out, so I abort.
So she brought her head up, because you do see a lot of horses when they have tension start to move where they do bring their head up and they hollow their back. That's something we're still working on with Jack too.
Right.
The way you get them to move nicely and engage their core muscles is they need to use more of their back end.
Exactly. And you need to keep the rhythm coming through and forward. So when she softened through her head and neck, we got a better trot. It wasn't an active trot, but she was fine. So as she softened her neck, I let her walk, and then I picked up trot again. I wasn't in a hurry to go to rising trot, because there's nothing that I can ride into rising trot until her back is actually bouncing and moving a little bit more. So I'm saying take the step through from behind, and all I'm really thinking about is, can you go from my leg through my seat to my hand? Can you keep taking the step, and then I'll rise and I'll be a little bit forward on her back and say, keep coming in a rhythm. And the more she can work like she's working there, the more her neck will thicken up and develop, and the stride will actually come longer. But if I go for speed, there's a difference between speed and impulsion. And that's another whole topic, because the impulsion is the amount of energy within the stride. And I have to have the amount of energy the horse can cope with in that moment.
When you asked for the trot and you noticed she wasn't quite ready at that point,
right,
a lot of people will say, just make her go.
Make her do it.
What's the difference between making them do it and what you did, where it's like, let's have her release some of that tension first?
That's a really good question. Say you were jumping and you were cantering round into a 4-foot fence, but the horse was cantering really badly. Would you carry on and crash into the fence? Or would you circle round, regroup, reorganise, and then come? And somehow it's really hard to feel that in the dressage. So could I get her to trot? Yes, but it would be her pulling herself from her front legs. So how would that help her back to get stronger? So I would rather abort, wait for it to be as good as I possibly can, and then say, good girl, do it again. And I'm trying to ride the rhythm, just asking her to take these steps through. And what's nice is she's beginning to be a little bit more level. There's still a few moments where she struggles on that on the right shoulder. Like there, you can see her struggle a little bit. I'm saying, you're fine, you can do it. My ride is very much a physio ride rather than just, don't I look pretty? Isn't my horse going nicely? And I want her to stretch her head and neck down, because I know that by the head and neck coming down, the stride will come longer, because they can't put their foot past the end of their nose. So if I let the nose come out longer, the stride will become longer. If the stride becomes longer, the back is moving more.
And then all of that muscles.
All of that muscle builds that core strength that we're trying to get in our horse and we're trying to get in ourselves. Transitions are incredibly difficult to feel, but incredibly useful to school. So I'm happy that her head is down there. On this right rein, there's a little bit of tension. So she tried really hard. I went sitting and just tilted my pelvis and said, walk, you're fine, have a little break. There was a lot of things happening on the Saturday. There was people playing football and shouting. There was cars coming. There was a lot of things for her to look at and say, wait a minute, what's that over there? So then I have to say, it's fine, Could you concentrate on what we're doing here rather than what else is going on the outside? So by allowing her to walk, get her balance again, regroup, reorganize, and keep going, can you bend a little bit to the inside? And she goes, ooh, that's really hard. Can you stretch these muscles on the left? Can you shorten the muscles on the right? That's that hard shoulder. But I don't want to hold her head in. Can you soften? And very good. Then I can look, because I have a lovely camera person there. That hoof print is following the track, so I know that she's as straight as she can be. I'm saying, good girl, you're fine.
And so that's a good way for horse owners at home to see if their horse is moving in a straight line, where it's look at the hoof prints and see if they're lining up with each other.
Definitely. So a horse ought to work on 2 tracks until we start to do the lateral work. So if you see your horse with the quarters to the inside or the outside, or too much neck bend, they're not straight, which is evenly bent in their body, and they'll never collect. They'll never build that core power that we're wanting to get, whether our horse is a trail ride horse. We need him to be balanced on the trails, don't we? Or a jumping horse or an event horse or whatever. So allowing her to just keep taking these steps, keep coming through. It's all about the physio. And you can see there's moments where she goes, oh, that's a little hard. And I go, yeah, I know it's hard, but can you get it again? So it was just a little loop. Can you bend a little to the left? Can you bend a little to the right? Can you keep coming through?
You said the contact that you have with her, it's a little, I don't want to say looser, but there's a little more give from you with her than you would for other horses. And you mentioned how it's different from horse to horse. What's that relationship like when you're riding Cara?
Yeah, it's interesting because it varies from one pace to another, or what we're doing. So I would like her to actually take a little bit more contact from me. So the amount that I have is fairly light, because I'm not really dwelling too much on the contact. I'm more dwelling on how I get this engine to come through from behind. If you think of contact really being divided into, firstly, you take from the horse, and then the horse has to take from you. And a lot of horses will be on the bit or behind the bit, and people will think, oh, that's great, he's so light. But if he's behind and not taking your hand, he's not lifting his rib cage, and therefore will not last as long as the horse that's moving more correctly. Taking a contact is hard, right? And you'll see here, if I pulled her head up, how would that help her move her back a little bit more? Because you can see when she turns there, there's still these little bit of tight steps. So I'm taking a little bit of contact. And the only lateral thing I'm trying to do a little bit is a tiny, tiny little bit of a leg yield. So leg yield is where she steps out from my inside leg, brought back a little bit further than normal, but into a contact on that outside rein. So I don't really want to get too much neck bend. Otherwise, I've just got my horse falling out rather than stepping out. So my leg yielding is the first of the lateral exercises that I would do with a horse. And that teaches them that suppleness and flexibility left and right, so that we can eventually get the nice round shape with the withers up. So we'll see as she progresses. I would say another 3 months and she'll have got her balance. So here I'm just asking her to halt. And she finds it difficult to walk up into halt. So I do let her walk forward a few steps rather than just pull her back. So there I'm asking and she's drifting, and then she ends up being square and I go, good girl. I come onto the arc of a circle to ask and she goes, that's difficult. Good girl. And then I let her walk forward. I don't need her to halt for long, but as I move up through the tests, I would expect her to halt for longer. Jack is beginning to halt for longer, which is awesome.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, when you say walking into a halt, like, what does that mean?
It means that she takes each step to walk all the way to a square halt.
So with all 4 hooves on the ground
Off
in a square.
in a, yeah, level. So here I think I'm doing a little bit of turn on the forehand. I don't do it from halt. So this is, can you move your left hind under your body, under your body, under your body, under your body. Good. And just wait. So front legs are square. She could have brought that right hind up a little more, but it wasn't bad. So then I say, can you step over? So that's right hind, step over, just ooh. And then I do this 45-degree left hind. Can you step from the left hind? Take your time. And by doing that on the rail, it gives me an outside rein to block. It's also a useful exercise to do on the ground, which is what you're doing with your two horses.
It's to loosen up their hips. It's almost like Pilates for horses.
Totally. And I give her time. So there I thought, we could do better. I changed the stick to that outside hand. And now I'm saying, move away from my left leg. Good girl. So that hind leg steps over and over and over. And she says, ooh, that's hard. Good girl. And then I let her walk out of it. So literally just 2 or 3 steps. But the more she does that, the more supple she'll get through her pelvis, and then the easier the front end will be for her to come up.
You're focusing a lot on the physio of the horse. I know there was a time that I didn't consider the horse has to be athletic. It has to be an athlete in order to do what you want.
Right. And it's also their physical shape. If you think of a basketball player, would he make a good boxer? Or weightlifter? Probably not, because he might be too long in the back. All right. And that's a pretty walk that she had there. Because of doing that little bit of work, just can you move sideways? Can you move sideways? And I only do it for a minute or two, and then I just let her trot on. But her withers are up more there. So I'm thinking, well, that was all right. That was good. And then maybe we should try and canter and see what happens when we canter, which will be exciting.
She definitely looks like, from when you first mentioned that you wanted her to trot and how there was some hesitation, to now she's very willingly to go up in the gaits.
Yeah. So now I'm starting the canter, and I'm cantering off her back. She fell to trot and she would like to pull through the rein. So I'm not going to canter again. I'm going to say, excuse me, just wait. Because why would I canter from a bad trot? So re-establish, regroup, and ask again. And she might have to do that half a dozen times. But I want to stay as much as I can off her back, and then gradually, can I sit down on her back? Can she carry me? Can I let the reins go a little bit? Can I take the rein contact back again? How does she react mentally? Nice into trot, good girl. And little hollow into the canter, so she kind of took that on herself. And I'm just saying, stay there, soften, ride the rhythm. Good girl. Can I let go a little? So I don't want to pull her head back, because they need the head and neck to balance in the canter. A little bit tight there, a little bit against me. So I'm sitting down, then I'm coming back up. Can you maintain this rhythm?
When you say ride the rhythm, what do you mean by that?
I want to have almost like a metronome. So one of the good things I can say in trot is tick tock, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In the canter, it's quite nice to say canter, because it kind of takes the 3 syllables. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, canter, canter, canter. So by feeling it, or even saying it to yourself, actually helps you to keep breathing, so you're then able to ride that rhythm if it gets a little quicker. No, just keep the canter, canter, canter. We don't need to go faster. You're fine. It's okay. So by taking your time, you'll end up with a horse forever. By rushing, you might win the blue ribbon 1 year, but your horse will break. So really looking at the physio and thinking, how can I get this little horse to carry herself and understand? So because we've cantered, see how she drifted through the walk halt.
Mm-hmm.
Because, no, I'd like to canter again. I go, no, just wait. No, I'd rather canter. Good girl. But I'm not going to be pulling back because there's no value to her hind end.
Well, and that feeling you're describing of when the horse wants to go and go through your hands, which is basically meaning going faster than what you're wanting at that moment.
That's what she's doing at the moment.
And you look very calm. How important is it to stay calm when the horse wants to go faster?
Absolutely. And if you're not in the mood for the ride, if you've had a bad day at work or you've had a horrible day in how things have gone wrong, everything's gone to pieces, don't bother riding because the horse will sense your anxiety, or if you come with a game plan, probably not going to work, and then you're going to get frustrated. And horses are used to being aware of their surroundings, so they've survived. So when they feel tension, their automatic reaction is to run away from that tension because that's what's going to keep them safe, which is exactly the wrong thing that you want to do. So I just there, because she wants to canter, I just went, trot, walk, trot, walk, trot, walk. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care.
If we turn the sound up on here just a little bit.
Good.
You're talking to her this whole time.
Walk. Good. Keep the frame. That's my girl. Gently, gently. I know. Let it go. Let it go. Good. That was better. Wait till she softens. No. I think it's interesting to talk to them because we teach them things to our voice on the ground before we ride. And I can say, you're fine, it's okay. I'm just chatting to you, it's okay.
And see right there, someone like me who, if she's wanting to go faster than what I'm wanting, it's hard not to get scared, right?
And then lean back and raise your hands up high and pull back. But that puts you in such a position that when the horse then pulls through you, they have more strength in their head and neck than you're going to be able to hold. You're going to get pulled away forward, and that's going to scare you even more. So by trying to stay strong in your core, keep your weight down into your lower leg's your base of support, to just say, it's fine, I got you. So it's just practicing that core strength as well is a huge thing in riding.
And then it helps to tell the horse out loud, I've got you, it's fine. It's twofold because you're assuring them, and it also makes sure that you're breathing.
Exactly. Well, you found after videoing me, you chatted to Jack, and it was better. It was
Absolutely.
Better for you and better for him. That was a pretty cool thing to learn.
Even in the round pen with Jack, sometimes he doesn't want to maintain a gait. He doesn't want to maintain like a trot in a round penner. So I started going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 at him. And he kept going just by hearing me counting for him.
The voice is a hugely important part of riding, which is why in dressage we lose 2 marks, 2 out of 10. So we lose 20% if the judge hears you. So you can't go into test saying, good horse, it's fine, well done, because they respond to your voice. But when we're schooling, absolutely use your voice. And here her neck is up, so she's good. The step is nice and long. She's a little fresh, but I'm saying, you're fine. We can deal with this. It's okay. Don't get faster. You're fine. I got you. Good.
And then when you feel her come back to you, that's when you can...
Yeah, or when I feel her soften her head and neck and not pull against me. But here, the head and neck came up. She fell out of canter, and then she's pulling me. So I'm saying, no, you can wait. So now I would like to canter and see if I can canter a circle round. If I didn't feel safe, if I was getting annoyed, just quit, go for a ride. But I'm not upset. It's all fine. So let's see if I can actually achieve canter. Let me try and get my 1%. there she fell again.
Okay.
So I know, no, wait. So there my contact is much stronger, but it's still a take and give within the contact. And then she accepted it. So right away, I just went back into my canter. Can you keep the rhythm? So I need to keep my balance in my lower leg. She would love to pull, but keep the rhythm with my lower leg there. So canter, 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 canter. Don't go faster. Can you keep going, keep going, keep going? Good girl. Well done. Ride the rhythm. And you see that head shake. It was like, yeah, I'd really like to run. I'm saying, no, you're fine. I got what I wanted.
And so a lot of the control of the speed of a horse is from your seat then.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And your weight aids. We haven't kind of talked much about weight aids yet, but the weight aids are pretty important. So I was greedy and I did 2 circles.
What's a good summary of weight aids and how they differ from the other aids?
The main natural aids are the legs, the seat, the hand. Okay, so the legs and hands we've talked about as individual aids. The seat aids, we've talked a little bit about the pelvis coming a little bit stronger, almost that tilt of the pelvis for my downward transition. We also talk about the weight aid lifting the inside seat bone up and slightly forward to help make a turn in whatever direction. And it sets my horse up for my lead changes. It sets the horse up for my canter transition. So I actually don't take my leg very far back with her. All I do is I say, sit, have I got my outside rein? And I kind of lift my inside seat bone up a little bit. And that brings my outside leg a tiny, tiny little bit back. And she canters. So she's very good at the upward transitions. Downward, we're still having problems, but we're getting there. All I was doing here to finish off is saying, after cantering, can I let the reins go? Can you stretch down without running away from me?
Because your contact is quite a bit looser there.
Yes. There's movements in a dressage test where you give the rein away. The judge wants to see the horse stretch his head and neck down and then take it back again without running away or stopping. So I'm saying to her, just because I'm letting the reins go, you don't need to go any faster. It's fine. Ride the rhythm, child.
And she's also able to self-carry.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you can see, she has a little burst every now and then. I'm going, no, just keep the rhythm. No, you're fine. So she's very much a work in progress at the moment. And it's going to be another 3 months of this type of work. See, when she stretches down like that, I'm having to go way forward. But it's making that shoulder move. So I'm saying, so long as she's not running away with me, I'm going, good girl, you got it. Well done. And then I go, can you do the same the other direction? So I think we were maybe a few minutes longer than I would normally have done. I wanted to have these as reference points for myself as well. So it was really good. She's not tired.
No.
And the more physio I can do, the better. So now I'm asking her, I'm finished, I'm asking her to halt, and she's going, no. But I let the halt, you see how the halt then is pretty square?
Yeah.
Whereas if I just pulled her back, all she would have done is raised her head and neck, dropped her withers, and it would have achieved nothing. So every moment that I'm on a horse, I'm trying to help the horse be 1% better. That's the theory.
Even from the beginning of this ride, she looks totally more relaxed.
It's coming. So forward and forward. So I let her take that step to come up to halt rather than to come back to halt or down to halt. And then I just say, good girl, we're done. And then I'll take her for a trail ride. And if I see somebody on the trail to talk to, I might want to stop and see if she can just stand. All of these are useful training aids. Everything is a school.
It's all schooling.
Yeah.
If any of our listeners have any questions that they might want answered by the talented Jane, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and we will do our best to get back to you.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Jane.
Bye.
Bye.